What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today, Nintendo, my beloved Nintendo. So many people say, Jeremy's just a Nintendo shill. Yeah, you goddamn right I am. You know why? Because Nintendo is the company that doesn't pander to all of the SJW nonsense, the stuff that we continue to say we don't want, the things that we continue to complain about. We're getting so frustrated with so many of these entertainment industry businesses and developers and companies pandering to this nonsense. Yet you have Nintendo sitting here not even blinking an eye at these nut jobs, which is exactly what every company should do. So my love for Nintendo is far more than their stance on this type of stuff. I've always been a Nintendo fan. I've been a Nintendo fan since the NES. And I'll continue to be one. I've been there through their highs and their lows, their ups and their downs, but they are still, right now, as relevant as they've ever been, and they've been that way for, what, 30, 40 years now? Nintendo is amazing. So, now we have Nintendo yet further confirming everything I say about why I support them and why you should support them if you are, in fact, sick and tired of these companies that pander to this nonsense. Nintendo president further pledges to not censor third-party games, says censorship inhibits the games industry. How about that for some perspective? Love it. Sony is aggressively pursuing a global standard on what is and is not acceptable in any games released on their platform. Nintendo has been doing just the opposite. Nintendo has reaffirmed their anti-censorship stance in their latest shareholders Q&A. In the 79th shareholders meeting Q&A, Nintendo president Shintaro Furukawa was asked via InStyles how Nintendo approaches their content regulation in regards to their games being released on their platform, citing other platforms applying their own censorship or restrictions on game content. Nintendo seeks an objective rating from a third party before releasing its own products or third-party software, he said. Arbitrary choices made by platform management companies will significantly inhibit the diversity and fairness of game software. He also noted what most folks agree is the common sense solution to shielding younglings from adult content. You can also put restrictions on content via parental control functions, he added. The latest example of Nintendo's Blaze approach to adult content on their platforms is probably Peach Ball Sunran Kagua, pictured above, a breast-filled pinball game from Marvelous that is launching for the platform entirely uncensored on July the 9th. Now again, the fact that Nintendo continues to show the way in the entertainment industry, again, I get it. Nintendo is a little aloof sometimes. Nintendo is a little out there. Sometimes some of their decisions, you're like scratching your head and you're like, what are they doing? Because Nintendo just doesn't, they're not self-aware all the time. But having a lack of self-awareness in this industry is actually a good thing, because they're not paying attention to all of the ground level trolls and the small minority of people that are career victims and things like that. Yeah, sometimes Nintendo makes decisions that you're like, why wouldn't you let people stream your video games? It's free advertisement, you crazy people. You know, sometimes they do strange things. I'm aware of that. Go back to the Wii U, all-time terrible marketing decision. And it was because they had such a lack of self-awareness and probably some arrogance with the success of the Wii. Because the Wii sold over 100 million copies. So in Nintendo's mind, they're like, oh, 100 million copies. It set the world on fire. Okay, let's just come out with the Wii U, and everybody that bought the Wii is going to buy the Wii U. No, Nintendo, that's not what was going to happen. And if you would have had any kind of self-awareness, you would have realized that 80% of people that bought the Wii were not gamers. They were kind of like families and retirement homes and all this shit. You know what I mean? It was a very, very casual system. And you look at the market, that they flooded the market with all these family-friendly garbage titles, and it flooded the Wii, where there were some great games on the Wii, but unfortunately, you go into a GameStop or something like that, you look on the wall, and all you see is this motion-controlled nonsense. So when they moved to the Wii U, it completely failed because Nintendo had such a lack of self-awareness. So This is a good thing and a bad thing for them to have, but ultimately it keeps their head out of the nonsense that so many of these companies are paying attention to. They don't care if you're offended. They don't care about these people walking around with pink pussy hats, crying and being victims. They don't care. They don't pay attention to this stuff. It doesn't matter to them. What they care about is their intellectual property. What they care about is putting a good product forward for their customers and making sure that they are keeping the basic values of that IP in place. That's it. You don't get half-made games with Nintendo that's completed by overpriced DLC. What you get is a complete game by Nintendo with very cheap DLC that it doesn't complete the game when it comes out. It adds to an already complete game. So everything that I hear people complain about in the gaming industry, it's not something Nintendo is doing. Nintendo does it the right way. Yes, they have some self-awareness issues, but those things don't matter at the end of the day. Their first-party titles are phenomenal. No Nintendo fan is disappointed by the first-party Nintendo titles. None. At all. They're just not. Is Nintendo perfect? Absolutely not. They're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. No company's perfect. I don't know why I have to answer that question. But with these situations, we need to highlight this. We need to bring light of this because it needs attention. We focus on a lot of the negativity that these companies are doing, and that's perfectly fine and acceptable, and I will continue to do that. But when we have a situation where a major player in the entertainment industry, a major name with major influence, takes a stand like this, we have to show our support. Now, we always say speak with your wallets, which I say that all the time. I own a Nintendo Switch. I own a 3DS. Even though I don't even play handheld games, I own a 3DS and a few games just because I wanted to have it because I like Nintendo. I support Nintendo. I always buy Nintendo products. So I would say if you are fed up with what's going on with Sony and their censorship and Microsoft and all of their garbage, go out, buy yourself a Nintendo Switch, buy Breath of the Wild, buy Mario Odyssey, buy Mario Kart 8, buy Splatoon 2, buy Mario Maker 2 and prepare to cuss all day long because the game is frustrating as hell. At least it is for me. Maybe I just suck at video games, but it's a lot of fun. It is effing hard. It is very difficult. It is very frustrating, but it's very fun. And there's so many great titles. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I mean, the list goes on the Nintendo Switch. Amazing system. Love Nintendo. I want Nintendo to continue to have this type of approach of worrying about their business and how they want to honor and protect their IPs and give their customer base top-tier products and keep out of the bullshit. And that's what they continue to do, and I love them for it. Love them for it. I want to give a shout out to The Quartering because he's the reason I was aware of this story. I saw his video on Twitter. I shared it. I mean, Jeremy's always on top of all the news stories, so I get a lot of tips from anything he uploads. So shout out to him. Other than that, shout out to Nintendo for being so wonderful. Love you, Nintendo. Continue to have your head in the clouds and be so clueless as to all of the nonsense at the ground level because it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. Keep making your strange, whimsical decisions because at no point have they lost their magic on their first-party titles. You go back to the GameCube, which is, for some people, was the low point for Nintendo. I don't think so, but for some point, you know, Super Mario Sunshine was kind of the low point. The Wind Waker, those games are fantastic, but a lot of people had problems with those games. They were still phenomenal. They were still very well received. And you can't say it was the Wii because Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are two of the highest rated games ever. Those games were all-timers. Unbelievable. My only problem with Mario Galaxy is the motion control. I don't want to go back and play it with the motion control. I hate motion control. I really do. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video, and we will talk to you later. Hey everyone, it's Jeremy from geeksandgamers.com, and if you're a fan of Geeks and Gamers, please go to our website, visit our merchandise store. We have t-shirts, hoodies, hats, beanies, tank tops, and in the very near future, we're going to have many more products for you to choose from. So thank you for the support. We appreciate it. You guys have a great day, and we will talk to you later.